Troy Kearns, real estate investor, bringing it to you from my Las Vegas office. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to calculate cost of rehabs on your flips. Every single element that I'm going to talk about in this video is extremely important, calculating your profits. And that's how you make money in real estate, by making a profit, by not going broke. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you smash the notification button, share this video with a friend, and comment below because you too can help us have a good day. So what are you going to learn in this video? You're going to learn simply how to calculate what it's going to cost and what you should do prior to pulling the trigger and buying a property. When you start to calculate the cost of repairs, you almost don't want to do a flip. It's like, why am I going to do this flip when it's going to cost me $200,000 on a property that I can't even sell for $150,000? Well, guess what? This is why you're paying attention to what I'm saying right now, because there's a science to this. It's not just go and get a bid from the most expensive contractor and then decide not to do the flip. When you're flipping, you got to be working with contractors that understand how to deal with investment type of properties and guys who know how to do stuff on a margin. In addition to all of that, you need to know what your local area demands, what the costs are going to be like in that area, how nice of finishes you need to go. Do you even need to go with any finishes? Did you buy the house so right that you can just put a coat of paint in it? We're in a market right now where if you bought a house right and it's just a cosmetic fixer-upper, you may not even want to go in there and do anything because you might be losing money. It's so hot. Understanding all of those variables are key components to pricing out your property and flipping it properly. The three methods that we're going to talk today about are the lump sum method, the cost per square foot method, and the detail estimation method. Let's go through the lump sum method first. The lump sum method is exactly like it sounds. The lump sum method is for experienced flippers like me, where they go, you know what, it's going to cost me $50,000 to fix up this house just from a straight eyeball shot. They don't even need to know. They've done it so many times, and they're not going to get so specific where they go, oh, okay, it's 2,200 square feet, blah, 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 blah. $7,000 to $10,000 for the roof. New air conditioner, $5,000. Paint through the whole house, $5,000. And they're adding up those numbers in their head as they walk the job to get a very good rule of thumb approach to coming up with a profit. This is only for experienced flippers, and if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't do it. Honestly, this is for experienced contractors too. Guys who walk jobs, who bid jobs, they know how many guys are gonna have to put in there, how much time it's gonna take those guys to do what they do. And experienced flippers and experienced contractors use the lump sum method, but this is not for people who aren't experienced. Obviously, doing this way is totally dangerous, and I've been burnt plenty of times by doing it myself. I'll give you an example. I bought one for $12,500 on a street called Chestnut in Kansas City. And I sent my contractor by there, and he gave me a lump sum bid. He's like, I don't know, it's probably gonna cost you like $40,000. Well, I was super excited to hear that number, but as they got into it, turns out we have to reframe all of the flooring joists, all of the roof, everything, and it's gonna be double that cost. So the lump sum method is great if you're an experienced investor, but it can also cost you a lot of money that you can't recover if you're just starting out. And even though I use the lump sum method, it's definitely not the best approach. It's just a way that you can buy properties very quickly and efficiently, but you can also get burned. My recommendation is do not use the lump sum method unless you're an experienced flipper, unless you're doing it all the time. And even when you do that, definitely check what the local market is doing currently, because the lump sum method, things change like crazy. Like right now, air conditioners are going up like crazy. Fuel is going up like crazy. Lumber prices are going up like crazy. My lump sum method might be up 30 or 40% just because the market's up 30 or 40%. Did I adjust for that? Maybe not, right? Lump sum method, save it for the experienced guys. A more accurate but also very experienced tool is the cost per square foot method. Guys will use numbers anywhere from $20 per square foot to $40 per square foot to $50 per square foot to $60 per square foot. It just depends on what the market is calling for and how bad the property is. I'll give you a perfectly good example. You're gonna take a house that's 1,000 square foot and it needs a paint job. That's it. It needs a paint job. Everything else else is perfect, place smells beautiful, needs a paint job. So you're gonna say, you know what? It's gonna cost me 20 bucks a foot. So you're gonna estimate $20 times $1,000. And that's gonna give you a number of $20,000. That's not gonna work, right? Because a paint job for that house would only cost you about 2,000 bucks, okay? Just to paint a house. Price per square foot method works best is when you have a full rehab. Guys will use numbers for cosmetic rehabs. If it's like a cosmetic rehab, then it needs paint and it needs granite and it needs new fixtures and it needs new appliances and it needs all that. 1,000 square foot house and that $20 is gonna get me really damn close. Really damn close. And if I wanna take an average and go a little bit higher, then I can say, hey, you know, it's gonna be between $20 and $40 a square foot, thereby arriving at somewhere in the middle of about $30,000, which anybody who flips real estate knows you're not getting out of a house for under $25,000 if you're changing pretty much everything, right? That's really getting things done for the bare bones. So the cost per square foot method is just to give you a lump sum, but in a more accurate way. Because with the lump sum, you're not even taking into consideration the square footage. But when you calculate the cost per square foot, the first thing you're doing is saying, all right, that's how contractors price things out. They price things out per square foot. That's how you buy things. That's how you paint things. That's how things are done in the contracting world. So using a cost per square foot method is going to put you with your contractor and how they bid things. Things that you need to consider when you're using the cost per square foot method are the following. Location. Where are you buying the property? Is it in California or is it in Mississippi? Why? Because if you're using a state where unions are prevalent, you're gonna be paying that guy more money to do his job, which means chances are the house is gonna sell for a lot more money. Knowing where the location is, knowing how much the house is gonna sell for, big time things that you need to consider when you're using the cost per square foot method. Also need to consider, what's the demand like? Is the demand high? Other thing you need to consider is, what is the cost of material in that area? Is there some sort of weird tax that you're paying? There's all sorts of weird taxes that cities are gonna lump onto things to cost you more money that you need to understand when you're using the cost per square foot method when flipping a house. And to summarize on the cost per square foot method, it's a very general idea for flipping houses that most guys are gonna use as a method to make it sound easier than it is, but really, I would stay away from it unless you're an experienced flipper who really has your numbers dialed in, have your own crew, and you know exactly what it's gonna cost you to flip that house. And really, it's just covering your bases to do the number to begin with. My last, but my favorite one, and one that I suggest that you use, and I'm so glad you stayed all the way to the end of the video, but we're not done yet. So if you haven't done so and you're still here, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification button, and definitely comment below. So a detailed estimate is gonna be a scope of work, room by room, item by item, done by you and the contractor or the person that's doing the work to come up with exactly the cost of what it's going to cost you to get it exactly where you need it. So what do you need to do there? You need to be able to envision what the project is going to look like so that your contractor can bid it out exactly the way you want it. You need to be able to give your contractor, hey, I want to use brush nickel hardware, or I want to use black hardware, or I want to use this type of tile, or I want to use laminate and it's 89 cents and I'm going to Floor and Decor and I don't want to put a pad underneath it. All of these things, any finishes that you need, obviously the more stuff that you want to request, the higher the price is going to be. Make sure you know what kind of finishes that you're going to use or get an allowance for those finishes so that you can have a really good detailed estimate. You need to understand your buyer and the neighborhood. Why? Don't over improve or under improve a property. If you under improve a property, that means that the buyers in that market expect more from the house than you gave them. You need to know what those local buyers expect. You need to know what's trending, and you need to go look at other photos and walk other properties to make sure that you're getting exactly, or you're selling a house or pricing out a house exactly for how much money you think it's going to sell for, but how much money you know it's going to sell for. Don't underfinish and don't overfinish your house. Let me give you another good example. One of the biggest ways I've lost monies is doing driveways. If you're selling a working class neighborhood and the driveway is a little bit crumbly, big deal. Don't redo it. Don't spend any money. You won't get it back. Now, same house down the street, better neighborhood. Give you an example. We're doing one right now, and I'm pricing out the driveway because somebody who's spending $500,000 ain't driving on cracks in their driveway unless it's in California. So make sure that you understand current market conditions and what the buyers expect in your area so that you can have a detailed estimate of exactly what they're gonna need, require, and want, and not underprice it or overprice it or have a detailed estimate that doesn't even make sense for what you're trying to do. Make sure that you thoroughly examine the property. So when you're walking that property with that camera, you should be looking up, you should be looking down. You should be looking at the foundation, you should be looking at the ground. You should be looking at the grading. You should be looking at everything with the property. Look at the roof. Look at the soffits. Look at the gutters. Look at everything. Write every single thing down after you take a video of it. Use your video as your reference point to writing it down later. Say something in your video so you know. Use your finger in your video so you know. For instance, if you say, hey, look over here at this busted up HVAC unit, okay? That should be a reference to you. Don't try to rely on your freaking memory. Use your camera, write notes, be detailed. Walk downstairs, turn on the HVAC, run the plumbing, make sure the drains aren't leaking. Be super thorough. Turn the AC down to 70 degrees. See how long it takes to get cool. Turn the heat up to 90 degrees. See how long it takes to get hot. Turn on all the faucets in the house. See if it leaks. See if the tub backs up. See if all these things happen. Scope the sewer. Do everything. Get an estimated bid that covers everything. Understand that you gotta be thorough and you gotta check everything, record everything, write everything down, provide that to your contractor, get a bid, and then get 10 other bids from 10 other contractors. That's how you're gonna get your best deal. That's how you're gonna get your most detailed estimate, and that's how you're gonna make sure that everybody's on the same page. When you're pricing out how much it costs to flip a property, okay? And definitely don't go with the highest bid, and definitely don't go with the lowest bid. You wanna go and make sure that you're dealing with someone who's efficient, who's got references, and somebody that you can work with for a long period of time, and you don't get burned on the first one. Another good rule to use that we didn't mention, and this is the why you stayed till the end, is the labor plus material bid. A good way of getting a good price in addition to the estimated detailed bid is saying, hey, I want an estimate detailed bid. I want to get all the rewards and the credit card perks for paying for the material, and I want to make sure that I'm checking what you're buying. So when you're doing the detailed cost estimate, there's two ways to pay that person. You could pay them, hey, I'll pay you your labor per week and I'll front all the material costs, or I just want a price for everything all in so there's no surprises. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do us a big favor, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video with a friend. You are gonna help our channel grow, and that's gonna help me out a lot, and I certainly appreciate you doing that. And definitely get started investing in real estate and get started subscribing to our channel, because that's the best way that you're gonna build the confidence, build the inspiration to get started making money in real estate. Peace!